It is hot, and there's nowhere for me to go and get out of the heat. So sunscreen and shade, find it and enjoy the event. Hey, thanks for joining me today. If you're new here, my name is Adam. Welcome to the Lucky Dink Pickleball Club. To celebrate the PPA Tour coming back for the last half this year in Bristol, Tennessee this next week, I figured I would dust off the footage for what I went to the North Carolina Open earlier this year. So this is my take on me going there and trying to take some nicer photos of the players and what it was like as a fan experience as well. I'll chime in a little bit here and there just to kind of give you a heads up if I didn't cover something, but enjoy. So it's currently 3:59. I've been here since about 10:45. Matches started at 11. There's a new format, at least I'm on Saturday, so semifinals. The format was singles in the morning and then mixed in the afternoon. And then after that, they consider the evening is all the gender doubles. So you can see here, this is like the amateurs playing. It's pretty cool. I think something that they talk about is like, you know, you play where the pros are, right? Because there's the amateurs behind me, and then right there's championship court. And that's where the last mixed doubles match of the day is. Over this bridge here is another practice court and the player tent. What's funny is you walk around and you see the pros all over the place. It feels pretty accessible. Right here, we have Jesse Irvin watching a match. We're gonna see who's practicing over at the practice courts. There's the players tent right there. Looks like Paris Todd. Catherine Parento over there. All this access is what you would consider like a ground pass. So for this event, a ground pass was like $37. I got court-sized tickets for the morning. The one downside is that I didn't know the schedule before I bought my tickets. And so there's some information that you kind of have to dig for if you're not aware, and you kind of have to ask around, and you know, it's not super, you know, obvious. And I tried to look last night before yesterday. You know, I know the matches are all trying to be figured out beforehand. Just something to be aware of if you plan on coming to a PPA event. You know, try to do as much research on the scheduling before you buy it. But there you go. Look, and there's Tyra Black right there. They put these little things up so people can't look, but they do let you kind of stand near the stairs if it's not too crowded, and you see people kind of looking around and try to see. So if you have a ground pass, you won't be able to see much of these games. There are spots, I'm assuming depending on the venue, that you can kind of peek around and look. But just know, like, I think they changed that for this year, where semifinals are all on the same day and they're all in championship court. And so there are no matches on side courts that you can just like wander up to. You can see here people just standing on the hill trying to get a shot of the game over there. So yeah, the new format, all the semifinals are in the championship court. So if you buy a ground pass, you won't be able to see much. So just keep that in mind. So tournament operations are inside this building with some more amateur play. And then you have, like, I think this is Pickleball Central's, like, you know, you can come and buy some stuff. It's kind of pricey. $65 for a Chinook sweater, $35 for a t-shirt. So, you know, you can buy some paddles and hats, $35 for a hat. So just know the price is, you know, it's what you would expect at an event. I was trying to get a shirt that said like Carry Open, and I came in first thing this morning before the first game, and there was 2 left in a small, and they were $35, and that was it. So that was on a Saturday. So I don't know, again, if that's every venue, but it felt like they didn't prepare for Saturday and Sunday, which are probably the bigger days. So if you don't come earlier in the week, then you probably miss out on that. Again, I don't know if other venues, they stock up better and they didn't on this one, but that was kind of my experience. So let's go out here and check out some other stuff.
And once I finished recording that, I turned around and this gentleman was asking me about my camera and whether or not I felt comfortable taking photos of him and his partner during their amateur tournament. So I gave him my number and he texted me before his game started, and I was able to get over there and get some really nice action shots and send those over after the tournament. So that was a nice little thing that I got to do for these two guys.
So what I find really interesting is like all of these courts, I mean these courts, those over where I first showed you when we came in, all of those courts are reserved for all the amateur play, but you will literally walk up to a court and you'll see like a pro player just waiting for a game to be over because they want to jump on and start practicing. So it's interesting, earlier on this court I saw Anna Bright and Andre Diascu waiting to get on some of these courts just to warm up, because there's no like guarantee warm-up space. You know, that court in the back that you saw, you know, they have that, but if people are on there taking that up for a more relevant game, then the people who are maybe a game or two behind, they have to kind of scramble to find these courts. So, you know, as they were going in or coming out of the courts, people were asking for photos and stuff. I feel like you kind of just say hi or, you know, good luck or something. You know, especially I think if you're coming, be aware of when a player is going into a game or coming out of a game. I wouldn't necessarily recommend trying to get a photo with a player that just lost a game. Might give them some time. Or, you know, if they're walking from the practice or the practice court or the player tent, I probably wouldn't ask for a picture or an autograph when they're headed to their game and the game is like their next one. But that's just me. So some other stuff I wanted to talk about. So as a fan, it's been a great experience. It's so much pickleball. You can watch some amateurs, you can watch the pros, you can watch the pros warm up. You know, I think that's really fun. But a little warning, if you come out here as a content creator, I came out here with my Canon 20D, expecting to get some, like, you know, nice little shots as I'm sitting on the courtside tickets that I bought. When I got here, I kind of sat way off on the side for the first singles match, and immediately one of the volunteers said, hey, you can't have your camera here. And so I asked, you know, who can I talk to? It's an old camera, it's just me doing some stuff for myself. And so they sent me to the operations room. I talked to a guy in there for media. He gave me very, like, you know, straightforward answer of like, hey, no professional cameras without a media pass if you're not doing something for a, you know, a certain publication. And so I was like, yeah, thank you, I understand. You know, I tried to email the support email for PPA a couple months back asking like, hey, do I need a media pass or anything like that? If I do, how do I get one? I never got a response. I looked all over the website, all over the FAQs. I never saw anything about that. And so I thought maybe I'll just come and see what it is. And on my ticket, it didn't say anything. And so I'm frustrated that I spent, you know, $100 on courtside tickets expecting to maybe get some photos, drove 2.5 hours to get here, you know, the whole thing, with the idea that I could walk away with some photos, but they could put it out there more. So just know that, like, if you come with like a big setup, you know, you're not going to be able to sit courtside and do much. Now, that being said, I was able to go over to the amateur courts, and when the pros are warming up, I was able to go over to the amateur courts and get photos of them over there. I was able to get some of them practice, and it's not the hardcore action shots that I would love in the middle of a game, but, you know, it's still kind of cool. You know, I did come here and I was getting on the backside here and over there, players practicing, and then I decided to come here and I saw Yates Johnson coming down this way, and so I got a shot of him coming down, and he gave me a fist bump and told me to find him on Instagram to send him the photo. You know, things like that are kind of cool. And again, for the most part, everyone's been pretty nice and not bothered me. but you know, just know that you're not getting courtside tickets and bringing out your DSLR. And then I saw some players head that way. I'm gonna see if I can't catch them because my pass is worn out, so I can't go back to championship court. But let's go see if we can get some more shots of these ladies warming up. All right, so I just got back from the practice court over here and got a couple of photos over there. They were actually playing a game. They weren't just like warming up, but yeah, got some cool photos over there. You can see here we have Tyson and Deckel and Tyra practicing, just kind of warming up a little bit. They have their matches coming up here in a little bit. I don't know if you can tell, but on these courts, they have the rollout mat over top of the tennis courts. And so it's like a pad. I think that's why they're warming up here, because it's obviously softer than the normal ground. That is what is over in championship court, so that would make sense that they're practicing over here. So something to keep in mind if you sign up for an event and they don't have pickleball courts like most venues this big, or probably tennis related, then they're probably having something similar to this, where you can see this line and it's a rollout mat that goes all the way down, and then they split the courts in half. So just know it's going to play a little different than you're used to. All right, so something that, you know, if you are a photographer, you know, a hobbyist photographer, and you're trying to get some cool photos of some of the pro players, you get them walking back and forth and you kind of know where they're going to go, right? Like, so again, here is the pro tent and the practice court that doesn't have the rollout mats. There's championship court behind me, and then over here, this is where some of the amateur courts are, right? So I know that Deckel and Tyson McGuffin are practicing and stuff over here, and they're gonna come back. They're not gonna go through the grass and over that way through all the crowds. They're gonna come this way back to the tents or over to championship court. So I know their path, and so I'm trying to find a shot that I like. Well, backlight photos are always beautiful. So then here's my shot. Bridge, sun, flowers. I'm gonna come down here, get something like this, real tight, but them walking over the bridge. Now I just need to be patient, wait for them to come back. I got about 10 photos left on my memory card, and my battery is at 1 notch. So I'm just gonna hang out, because I know this is a photo that I wanna kind of end the day on, and then relax. So I still see them over there. I'm gonna wait, paparazzi style, get my photo. So I'm gonna have to look at the timestamp from when I said I originally wanted to get that shot of Tyson McGuffin through the bridge and the sunlight behind him, because I just got it. I waited a long time. Him and Deckel were over here practicing, playing games with some amateurs. So that's something, if you're signing up as an amateur, for this event, it was like $100 to sign up for the event, but that does give you grounds tickets so you can wander around after your matches and stuff. But you would have to buy separate tickets to get courtside. But you could be playing, distraction maybe, you could be playing on a court with some of the pros that you like warming up next to you, or you know, if you are about to go in and you're waiting, they may come over and say, hey, do you mind, you know, playing with us to just warm us up? I saw that with them. I saw that with Jorja Johnson and Tyra Black. They did that with a mixed amateur couple over here. So something to think about if you sign up for one of these events. But I did get the shot. I got a shot of Deckel walking by. They were walking separately, so I did get both of them. But when Tyson walked by, he was talking to a fan about his sweaty shirt. And I was like, hey, Tyson, out of you and Jack Sock, who sweats the most? And he was like, honestly, Deckel probably sweats more, but we're all just like drenched out here. But I always thought that was a funny thing because you see some of these guys just absolutely drenched, changing shirts like in between, you know, matches. So, you know, little fun interactions that you get to have when you come to these events. I just watched the men's doubles with Gabe and Ben. And so while I was watching that, I saw Yates Johnson again, backlight, sun, beautiful shot, got him. He did this awkward fist and then a thumb peace sign. He was like, what did I do that for? I don't know what I was doing with my hands. And I was like, I'll give you another one. So then he just gave me a nice smile. And then I was standing there watching some of the match with him. And we were just talking about the match. And I was asking him, how hard is it to play against somebody like Ben, who just is so good? Is it frustrating? And so some fun little conversations that I didn't think I would have today. But yeah, it's been a really good day. I think my first impressions of being told I couldn't take my camera courtside was a little hard. But once I kind of took that out and started to just find opportunities within the venue, no one bothered me. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, take care.